A lot of beginner programmers, self-taught programmers, and new students to university like me tend to undervalue the significance and importance of knowing lower-level programming concepts and lower-level programming languages like C and assembly. In this video, I'm going to try to convince you that you should know definitely some C and maybe even a little bit of assembly so that you're able to appreciate all the cool bells and whistles that you get with modern programming languages like Python. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it so you can get to learning C. Last semester, I took a lower-level programming class that covered important concepts, basic things about like circuits and stuff, all the way up to assembly, and then up to C as our main layers of abstraction. And the assembly that I did was for the LC3 data path, and there's different types of assembly. The most common one you probably heard of is x86, but I don't think that type of assembly matters as much as the concepts you're gaining, but I'll talk about that in just a bit. Then of course we also learned C. It covered the important parts of C that really make it unique, such as manual memory management, malloc, calloc, and realloc. And we learned how those work, and all of these things combined, as boring as they were to learn at some points and as difficult as they were to learn at some points, really gave me a great appreciation for what I get out of modern programming languages, and it also gave me a really good understanding of what's going on internally in the computer that I had no idea before I took this class, because I was just coding in Python or JavaScript, everything was running behind the scenes, and I never really cared to delve deep into understanding what's going on with the memory. How does it actually work? How are the instructions being processed on my CPU and all of that? And I think it's important that everybody knows how that works to some degree, not a whole ton. You don't have to be an expert in it, but you should know just at least a little bit. Let's talk about why you should know assembly. Now, when I say this might come off as very shocking to a lot of you, because you're like, nobody needs to know assembly, nobody codes in assembly. And first of all, there probably are some people that code in assembly. But the reason I'm telling you that you should learn assembly isn't because you should be writing your next web app project in assembly. I'm saying this because you should be able to understand what limitations you're dealing with on your computer. In programming languages like Python or Go or whatever, any modern programming language, you can declare unlimited amounts of variables, right? As long as you have enough memory. In assembly, you have 8 registers, or at least in LC3 assembly, you have 8 registers on the CPU. 8 registers on the data pad that you can access, and that's not a lot of room, and you have to finagle with it. You have to figure out how you can turn those 8 registers and play with them so you can get a lot more space and use a bunch more variables. If you're writing functions in assembly that routines in assembly that you want to jump to, then you can't use 3 of those 8 registers, and now you have 5 registers that you can use to do whatever you really want to with local variables and such. And that is very interesting. It's very difficult, but it gives you a great appreciation for what limitations you have when you're looking at the very lowest level of programming. There's a lot of manual work that you have to do and making things work, and that gives you a better understanding of how your CPU works, and that again will give you a slightly better understanding of how you can make things more efficient when you go up to a higher level. Now, I'm not saying you have to become the best assembly programmer at all. I'm just saying you should know the basics, understand registers, take a little bit closer look at your CPU, understand how numbers are represented, learn, like twos, complement binary notation, and really just get a good understanding of how assembly works and what it's doing to your CPU. I'll leave some resources linked in the description down below, and if anybody else has any resources, make sure to comment them down below or join my Discord server and leave links in there. I'm sure people would love to learn. It's not the most interesting thing. Honestly, it kind of is interesting. It's not the most easy thing, but it is definitely something that's worth doing, committing your time to, and I think you should at least attempt it, even if you don't get all the way through. All right, let's talk about C now. A lot more people know C than assembly for obvious reasons, because C is just a higher level programming language, and a lot of people have to learn C for something like college, and C I think is also covered in the CS50 class, which if you're learning programming is a great thing and you should take it. But that's besides the point. Everybody talks about C, and the reason they talk about C is because of the manual memory management that you have to do with things like malloc and calloc and realloc. When you're dealing with, making strings in Python, you have the great benefit of just putting in quotation marks and then putting in whatever text you have in between those quotation marks. In C, you can also do that, but with pointers and things, you also get the ability to dynamically allocate memory. So if you're creating a string and you don't know how big it is at the beginning, and you take an input from a user, you can use that and then create the string dynamically by using memory allocation and telling the computer, allocate this many bytes of space, and then it'll do it for you. And this leads to, first of all, a greater control of your program, which some people find nice, but it also leads to a lot of different places where things can go wrong because, oh, you allocated this memory, but then you didn't free it up, or you freed up the memory that doesn't exist, or you did a bunch of random stuff that just leads to random memory errors in your program that sometimes might not cause compiler issues, but then you'll run into crazy, weird runtime errors that become hard to debug. And that's something I dealt with in my class last semester. It was painful, but I did gain a lot. And I think that's what you should be learning C, because you'll understand how to do some manual memory management. And you don't have to be the best C programmer. You don't even have to be really great at it. You just need to understand that this is a thing that people have to do, and this is a thing that you might have to do. And that now there are languages that do this for you. So when you're coding up your next web app in JavaScript and you have no regards for the end user and you have no regards for the memory you're using, like me, because I don't care how much memory I'm using for my end user. I don't care how bloated my app is, right? Or at least this is how it used to be. I'm trying to be better. You'll understand that there are ways that you can make your memory footprint smaller. There are ways that you can manage your code better, and some languages don't really allow for that, like JavaScript. It's hard, but knowing how to do memory management and knowing that this is going on under the hood of whatever modern programming language you're using is important, and it'll make you a more efficient programmer, and also just, again, give you a better appreciation for what modern languages do for you. All right, that's the video. Very off the cuff, very quick. I just wanted to tell you guys to learn C and assembly because it gives you an appreciation for modern languages and tells you what's happening in your computer. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, join my Discord server, and just leave comments and talk to people in there. It's very cool. Leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.